Let's be honest, who doesn't love JRPGs? There is something magical about the charming art style, the mystical and pumping soundtracks, and the huge amount of content in these games. Many of you would agree that the PS1 era is some kind of the golden age of this genre. Hi, I'm the Nerdiax and you're watching my top 5 list of the best turn-based JRPGs of the PS1 era. Before we start, here are some rules. First, this video just contains turn-based JRPGs. In the next video, I'm gonna rank the best action JRPGs. Second, only one game per series can be on this list. Third, this is just my opinion. If you have different games on your list, let me know in the comments down below. Are you excited? Let's go! Eternal Ice, which was developed by Sunsoft, was released in December 1999 in Japan. It's a turn-based strategic JRPG. Crave Entertainment brought it to the US in October 2000. At the same date it was released in Europe, but was published by Sunsoft itself. This game can be described as a mix of Final Fantasy Tactics or Fire Emblem with Pokémon. You and your sister are the last remaining of a red-eyed folk which can create monsters out of puppets. You're the only one who is capable of to save the Kingdom of Gross. The gameplay is superb. You can split this game experience in 2 sections. In the town section, you are preparing yourself for the next battle by buying new equip and items and creating some new creatures. There are tons of puppet monsters. Not every monster look unique, some of them are just repaints because of their different elemental type, but the variety is still huge. Forging your own army of monsters is very addicting. The battle section is where the fun starts. The battles are very strategic and exciting. There are a huge amount of dungeons with several floors. Some of the dungeons just contain monsters with a specific element. It's important, especially at the beginning of the game, to have at least 1 or 2 monsters with you which have the opposite element to exploit the enemy weaknesses. If you haven't a good party, you will die very quickly and often. If you kill enemies, they'll drop puppets and elemental stones, which you can craft into new monsters. Eternal Ice also have a new game plus, with new additions to monsters and a lot of extra stuff and a harder difficulty. There are still unused copies of this game available for a reasonable price. I can totally recommend this game. Jade Cocoon, which was made by Genki and published by Crave Entertainment, has a very special place in my heart. It was released in 1998 in the US by Crave Entertainment. Ubisoft brought this game a year later to Europe. Many designers of Studio Ghibli, like Katsuya Kondo for example, were involved, as you definitely can tell from the art style. It was one of the first games which have had an almost complete dub. The quality of the voice actors still can keep up to this date. Just a few little conversations didn't have voiceovers. The almost complete dub could be the reason why the main story isn't that long. You can beat the story in about 10 hours, but this game has a rich endgame. After completing the story, there is an endless dungeon. This game is a mix of many popular games. Jade Cocoon uses pre-rendered pictures as environment like Final Fantasy and Resident Evil. It even has the tank movement of Resident Evil. It has catchable monsters like Pokémon. The amount of monsters isn't that good compared to Pokémon, but you can fuse all monsters with each other to make completely new ones. You even can give them a code and this will change the resulting monster. The battle system is as good as the battle system in old Pokémon games. You have physical attacks, elemental magic which can exploit weaknesses, and buffs and debuffs. It also has a PvP mode. You just can bring your memory card to a friend and fight against his monsters. I really hope that this game gets a remake or at least a remaster. They've also released a second game which was really different and that's why nobody liked it. Breath of Fire 3 was developed and published by Capcom. Its first release was 1997 in Japan. Both the US and the European release was 1 year later. A superior version was released for the PSP with a higher resolution, widescreen and an art gallery in 2005-2006. In many JRPGs you're just a hero who saves his love and the world. Breath of Fire 3 is so much more than that. Well, Okay, you save the world in the end, but the way the story goes is so much more and so unique. Hell, I never played a game like this ever again. In Breath of Fire 3, you follow the story of the main character from his youth until he's grown up. At the beginning, there isn't even a task to save the world. The first task you have is survive the autumn and winter. You start as an orphan which was found by two thieves. They're gonna adopt you and train you how to survive in this world. This part of the story isn't just an hour-long entrance or tutorial. It takes you several hours to get through this section. After that, you get separated from your friends by a terrible fate, and even then the main objective isn't clear. The game is so good in storytelling that you don't even care. It just brings you from one event to another so naturally. It's hard to tell you anything without spoiling the shit out of it. I know it's old, but if you not played it, you really should and have the same experience like me. The content of Breath of Fire 3 is huge! There's an overworld with different continents which you can explore. There are a lot of side activities and minigames like fishing and the fishing boy. It's so well made and addicting. Tons of masters are waiting for you to give you additional bonuses and skills after leveling up, but be careful with your decision. You're not getting only positive stat changes with every level up, you also get negative ones. You have to decide which character should be an apprentice of this master based on their stats. Every character is a great addition gameplay and story-wise. They are well written and every char has a unique way to play. Your main char also can transform himself into a dragon. You collect several gems and by mixing them together you create very unique dragon forms. But be careful, not only their skills cost mana points. After every round you have to pay an amount of MP to maintain the dragon form. After Breath of Fire 3, they've also released the fourth part for PS1. It was a great game too, but it wasn't as great as Breath of Fire 3. In the PS2 era, Capcom released Breath of Fire 5 Dragon Quarter, but it flopped tremendously because of the terrible art style and gameplay. The sixth entry in the series didn't even make it out of Japan. It was a free-to-play game for smartphones and tablets. It died very quickly, and I just can wish that there will become a great successor one day. Many of you might disagree with this pick and rather choose Final Fantasy VII, and that's okay, but let me explain my choice. The story of Final Fantasy VII is superb, but almost like Breath of Fire 3, Final Fantasy IX's story hides his plot until almost to the very end. Final Fantasy IX's plot has a very strong philosophical note. It's about existence, the meaning and the definition of being alive and being a living creature. Yeah, the art style isn't my cup of tea too, but it contributes perfectly to keep this plot as a secret until the point where the developers of this game want to let you know the whole impact of the story. That's why I prefer this game over Final Fantasy VII. In any other section, both games have the same superb content. They have tons of minigames and side activities, an explorable world map, a great battle system, great graphics and cutscenes. One great addition which Final Fantasy VII doesn't have is the equipment system. Every armor, weapon, etc. has their own abilities, skills and passives which you can learn by collecting AP while wearing those equipment. By the way, this soundtrack is awesome. I'm listening to the original soundtracks of Final Fantasy VII, 8 and 9 until this date. I totally can recommend Final Fantasy IX, it's my favorite game of the whole franchise. You can get it for less than $20 on the PSN store, Steam and whatnot. Trust me on this one, you will not regret the purchase. Remember when Konami did some great games? Suikoden 2 was one of the best games from this company in the PS1 era, and it's the best turn-based JRPG in this list. It was released in Japan in 1998, in the States 1999, and finally in 2000 it made its way to Europe. What makes the game so special, you may ask? There are so many reasons, and I'll try to count each one of it. You can recruit 108 characters. Yes, you've heard correctly. 108 characters, and just about 20 of them can't fight. You can create your own castle and army. The 20 characters who can fight will take over jobs in your castle. Most of those jobs will grant you access to exciting minigames. There are 3 battle systems. The first is the typical party against enemies battle system. The second is a strategic RPG battle system like Fire Emblem, where you control your troops over a huge map. The third one is the PvP 1 vs 1 battle system, where you almost fight like in a fighting game. Suikoden 2 has a vast and explorable world map with a lot of secrets, side activities, minigames, etc, etc. Short version, this game is everything your RPG loving heart is craving for. In this game you get the feeling that the content just never ends. The story fits a little bit too much in a JRPG cliché, but there are a lot of great events, plot twists in between to make this experience still unique. Unfortunately, Konami didn't re-release it on the PS4 store, but it is available in the PS3 and PS Vita store, and you should definitely pick it up. It only costs 10 bucks. And that was my video for today. If you want a full review of one of these games, just let me know in the comments. On the next episode, I'm gonna rank the top 5 best action JRPGs of the PS1 era. If you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel and share this video. It would help my channel a lot. Thank you. I also would love to read about your top 5 list of the best turn-based JRPGs. Leave a comment down below. This is Nerdiax and I hope you had fun. Until next time.